You're listening to Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. Our show provides listeners with an insider perspective of Texas A&M athletics and its greatest supporters. This podcast will bring you exclusive interviews with coaches, athletes, donors, and the dedicated staff of Aggie Athletics and the 12th Man Foundation. You ready? Let's dive into today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Answering the Call. I'm your host, Ivy Robinson, and today I am joined by Texas A&M football quarterback Connor Weigman. Connor, thanks so much for being here and coming on the show.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all having me.
I honestly have a very important question for you.
What's that?
So, have you played the new EA Sports College Football 25 yet? And what are your thoughts?
I have played, but since fall camp restarted, I have since retired. So it was fun for a little bit. Short-lived for sure, but I got it in, and I'm over it now. I'm ready to play some real football. So
I mean, that's so cool to be like. Did you ever picture yourself being in a video game? I mean,
no, that's probably the coolest part. Just seeing myself in there. Just as a kid, I'd play the old NCAA 14 game.
Yep.
I'd play that all day, and so to be in the game now, it's a pretty surreal feeling.
That's awesome. So, Connor, for our listeners, can you just share some details about where you grew up and tell us about your family background? Kind of paint the picture, where you're from, what childhood looked like for you, where you went to high school. Let's start there.
I grew up in Cypress, Texas, born and raised. Had both my parents in my life. Was really blessed. They did everything for me. Whatever I needed, they had got me. My dad would get home from work, and as soon as he'd get home from work, he'd either take me to go throw the football, go to the batting cages, or go shoot baskets. Like, as a kid, I played whatever sport was in season, football, baseball, basketball. And if anyone asked me what my favorite sport was, it was whatever sport was in season and whatever sport I was playing at the time. And I also had a little sister. We grew up, we did everything together as well. She's always outside playing. If I was going outside to play, she was coming with me. So she was always there.
Fun.
We was always competing in everything. She's competitive too, so she played volleyball in high school. She's getting here this summer, so she'll be here. So it'll be cool to have her up here with me.
That's so cool. So she's starting her freshman year.
Yep.
Oh, how fun.
Yep.
She's ready to watch you play.
Oh, yeah, she's excited. She's really excited.
That is so cool. Okay, so sports, you started playing very young age. Football, baseball, basketball. Did anyone, so you mentioned your dad, did anyone really encourage you to start playing sports? Or
I mean, my dad played football. He played at Sam Houston, so I just wanted to be like him. But they never forced me to do anything, like even going to work out or anything like that. They said if I wanted to get to where I wanted to go, I mean, I'd have to do it like on my own. Like, they're not going to force me to do anything. But they sat me down and told me that if you want to go play football at a high level, this is what you're going to have to do.
at what point did you decide football was what you wanted to pursue on a collegiate level?
Oh, that was hard because I was supposed to come here and play football and baseball. I was supposed to do both, and then last year we got a new offensive coordinator, so I wanted to stick around him and be able to learn from him as much as possible in the spring, so I decided not to play baseball. So I go to a lot of games. Me and Jace, we played baseball together since we were probably 10 years old.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was cool. It's my guy, so just going out there, I definitely miss it, feel like I could do it, but I don't regret my decision. I mean, I feel like it was the best for me, and I'm ready to go for this season.
So I guess you enjoyed watching them make it to Omaha.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty special, for sure.
So you knew you always wanted to pursue and play sports on a collegiate level. So why Texas A&M? Walk us through the recruitment process and the moment you received an offer from Texas A&M. What factors really led to your decision? Like, what was it about Texas A&M that made you decide to come here?
The family atmosphere. They made me feel like family right off the bat, and just not even the coaches, the support staff, the community, the fans, everybody of Texas A&M. I mean, it was a truly special feeling. And then to get to be able to be an hour away from home and have all my family come up and watch me each and every week, I mean, you can't beat that. And then as well as having the opportunity to play football and baseball at the next level. I loved baseball, like all the way up till junior, senior year. People would ask me, what do you like better, football or baseball? It's whatever sport's in season. So
you came here thinking you were going to play both?
Oh, yeah, it was happening. Yeah. And then just things didn't go exactly as planned, but everything happens for a reason, and I wouldn't want to be in a better place than I am right now.
So when you finally got to Texas A&M, I mean, how did it feel when you first arrived as a student athlete in 2022?
It was awesome. I graduated early, came up here early, so it was a little hectic just to jump from high school to college right off the bat, and we were right into spring ball, so I mean, I had to get my bearings together and get all situated. But after that, it was smooth sailing. I mean, I love this place.
Hmm. So it was a pretty easy adjustment that first year.
Oh yeah, I'd say so. I mean, especially just having my family right there. If anything happened, I could just drive an hour and be home and be with my family. So it was perfect.
What's your major?
Sports management and get a minor in ag leadership, and then gonna try and get some business credits as well.
You're also a 12 Man Foundation 1922 Fund Scholarship recipient. A lot of our listeners are 12 Man Foundation donors and season ticket holders. So, what would be your message to them, to those who provide scholarship opportunities for Aggie student athletes like yourself?
I just want to say thank you. I mean, just to have the opportunity to be on scholarship. Some people weren't as blessed as I am, and they don't have an opportunity to get to college without a scholarship. So for the 12th Man Foundation to be able to do that for some of these kids, I mean, it's truly awesome. And to see how much hard work they put into it, I mean, they do so much for us, and I can't say how much I appreciate them.
We're so thankful for the incredible support that 12 Man Foundation donors and season ticket holders provide for our student athletes. They truly invest in the well being and want to see them succeed both on and off the field. And so we're so grateful. All right, Connor, I have to bring this up. So last year, I know all Aggie fans felt a collective ache when you experienced a season ending foot
Yeah,
injury.
me too.
Yeah, literally.
Me too.
Literally. It was against Auburn last year.
Yes.
And I can only imagine the emotions you felt in that moment. So, walk us through your recovery journey. I want to hear about that. And how did you overcome that adversity?
It was a grind. I mean, people only see the injury, and then they see I'm fine now, and they don't. There was eight,
Yeah,
9 months in
the
between that
gap.
where it was every day. I'm training room 3-4 hours a day, pain every day, every second, and I just gotta keep my mind right. My body was gonna heal. It was fine. It was just keeping my mind good and being around good people. The everyone in the training room, Miss Katie, Lewis, Parker. I mean, they helped me every step of the way, and we came very close. I know all their
Hmm.
stories. They know mine. I mean, we was with each other literally every day for 9 months. So, I mean, I appreciate everything they did for me. I wouldn't be here right now without them. So, they did a lot for me, and I'm just blessed to be able to have those people in my life to get me through that.
Yeah, when you surround yourself with good people and people who can like keep you focused and keep you positive, I mean, good things are going to happen. How do you stay mentally tough and focused when you experience a setback like that? Because I mean, the pressure just in general, being a quarterback is tough, but then to have that setback, what what do you constantly like remind yourself of, or what keeps you grounded, or what keeps you focused in those moments?
I don't know. I just say football is a game I play. It's not a way of life for me. I mean, I love the game of football. It's given me so much, but if football is the only thing you got going in your life, you're not going to be very happy once you step outside of those white lines. I mean, you gotta have people that you can go have fun with, family that'll be there for you, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, you gotta find something you love outside of football just as much as you love football, and have a steady balance between that, or it's just gonna drive you crazy. And so, just being able to get outside with friends, family, and go fishing and go hunting, and just being outdoors. I mean, that's truly that's my favorite thing to do.
It's great into one of my questions I had for you. Like outside of football, how are you spending your free time? I mean, like if we were to shadow you during your free time, what would you be doing?
If I get a couple days, you'd probably find me at the ranch, probably fishing, hunting, hanging out, cooking good food. I mean, yeah, you can't beat it out there. It's really good, peaceful,
Hmm.
peaceful for the mind. So I like it out there a lot.
I love the outdoors. I grew up on a ranch, so it's like one of my favorite places to go.
Oh, it's
Like
awesome.
when you just
You
need
can't
a
beat it.
break, like
Exactly, exactly.
it's the best. So if there is a young football player out there who experienced like a season ending injury or some kind of setback, and they're listening to this right now, what would be your encouragement to them to keep pushing through and to know that there's light at the end of the tunnel?
I mean, just trust what people are telling you. I mean, I kind of try to fight it as much as possible. Sometimes I think my way was better, but people have been here, people have done it. They have years and years and years of experience on injuries, and just take it one day at a time. Don't look at the ending. Don't look at the injury. I mean, literally one day at a time, every treatment at a time, every rehab session at a time. I mean, literally try and break it up as small as possible because if you look too far ahead, it's gonna look like there is no end. So, like I said, yeah, just one day at a time, and you'll be all right.
And you'll get through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. It reminds me of, and I'm going to quote Mary Stoyana, women's tennis national champion, but she said this in the My Aggie Story video we did with her. We interviewed her, and she said the comeback is always greater than the setback. And it's something that her mom always reinforced to her, like growing up when she was playing tennis. And she experienced a pretty difficult injury, but it's true. I mean, the setback in the moment is tough, like it's hard to stay positive, but your body is going to heal, and that comeback, I mean, I feel like you're just rejuvenating and you're even more ready to prove that it's going to be better going on, from that moment forward.
For sure. I mean, like she couldn't have said it better. Yeah, I mean, you got to live that way, especially when you're hurt. I mean, like when I came back out on the field, I had like my first practice when I came back in the spring, like I couldn't stop smiling, just being able to be back out there with my teammates on the field. That's what I missed the most, just being with my teammates in the fire on the field, not being able to be out there with them, going through some tough times. I mean, it really hurt me just not being able to have their back and give them all I had out on that field.
Yeah, I can only imagine. With the Elko era well underway, how would you describe the culture of the Aggie football program right now?
No, it's been really good. I mean, I've enjoyed every second of the Elko era. I mean, just the players he brought in, the players he's kept here, and just the good mesh we have between the transfers and the new guys, and just the bonding we've created just over this short period of time. Just been doing everything with your teammates and like building true friendships and a brotherhood that is unbreakable, and that's what you really need out on that football field, knowing your brother has your back each and every play and to go out and make plays for your brothers.
Is there anyone on staff who has truly impacted like your mindset and approach to football? I know obviously offensive coordinator Coach Klein. I'm sure he's had a huge role, in impact on your whole game, but how would you describe him and what have you learned from him so far?
I mean, I've learned a lot from him, and it's way more than just football. He tries to teach us a lot more than just football, and he's more like he tries to be more like a life coach, and I appreciate that from him. I mean, you don't get that from every coach. He he talks about Jesus and the Lord and how we should live our everyday lives and how to be a good man, and he teaches us like in the future how to be a good husband, a good father, and I mean I really respect that from him, and I love that. But you, like I said, you don't get that from every single coach you have, and so to have someone like that who truly loves you for who you are, not just as a football player, I mean, you can really go out there and play way harder for him.
To have someone who's pouring into you from an athletic standpoint, but then from a human and life standpoint too, like that's incredible.
For sure. I mean, he's been in our shoes. He's been in the quarterback room before. I mean, he was sitting at the Heisman ceremony with Johnny, so he knows what it's like being in our shoes, and he knows what it takes to be a quarterback and the mental toll it takes, and just to being able to walk us through that every day. It's been really helpful.
I also want your perspective. I'm going to shift gears a little bit, but I'm just so curious. What is it like practicing in the beautiful indoor Coolidge Football Performance Center at the Graham Athletic Complex? Can you tell us what that is like and what your favorite part about that facility is?
The favorite part is probably just how big it is. I mean, there's 160 yards of practice. You could fit a whole practice in there without skipping a beat. Because outside we usually have two fields going at the same time, but you could do the same thing indoors because of how big it is. And I mean, it's the biggest indoor in the country, and just to be able to have the privilege to go in there each and every day to get our work in, I mean, it's awesome.
I'm sure it's nice getting out of that Texas heat sometimes too,
Yeah,
right?
well, like Coach Echo says, wherever you set that ball down, we'll go play. It don't matter. It does not matter.
And we are so grateful to every single donor who has contributed to those facilities as well,
1,000%.
because they are just state of the art elite facilities that, I mean, I think Trev Alberts, he was the one who said facilities inspire.
1,000%. I mean, we have everything we need to be successful, and you don't get that at every university. So just to be able to have that here, I mean, it's truly a blessing. And they really pour into us as student athletes, and we need to do everything we can to utilize those resources to be able to give back to them.
So, Connor, I'm going to change the topic really quick and bring up this little term called name, image, and likeness,
Oh, there you
NIL.
go.
During your time as a student athlete here, how has NIL made a difference in your life? And has it even impacted your family's life in any way?
I mean, it's made a huge impact. Just ever since I was 5 years old, my dad give me pay for hitting lessons, pay for throwing lessons, anything, basketball, anything. He'd pay for travel ball tournaments in the summer, AAU basketball, just everything. Just be able to give back to them and get them little things and just giving back to my family, man. They've done so much for me, and I'm forever in debt with them. And just any little thing I could do for my family, I try and do it because I love them so much, and they've done so much for me. So it's truly a blessing to have my mom, my dad, and my little sister with me every step of the way.
That's great. That is so awesome. What are you learning through your NIL opportunities? Do you think it's teaching you skills that you'll take with you for the rest of your life?
For sure. I mean, I try and keep the main thing with football. My parents and a couple other people help me out with the NIL stuff just so I can focus on ball. And I mean, yeah, you learn a little bit of stuff about businesses and how they work and the contracts and all that. But it's been good. Just like I said, learning about how it all works, and it'll be good for me in my future.
Mm-hmm. Have you seen NIL impact your teammates in any unique ways?
For sure. Like I said, not everyone grew up as blessed as I was. I mean, some people really need this money. Some people send money back to their moms to pay the bills. And I mean, like, that's the biggest blessing that comes out of this. I mean, just to hear some of those stories, I mean, it's so cool how people help out and send money back home. I mean, there's no words for it. It's just awesome to see.
Yeah, indescribable. I'm sure that's a really just an awesome way to support and give back to your family. For those who had sacrificed for you to be able to give back and say, hey, like, for all those years, here's my thank you.
1,000%.
So you attended the Manning Passing Academy, Connor, was it Nichols State?
Yeah.
This summer.
Yep,
Tell us about that. What was that experience like?
I mean, it was awesome. It was definitely hard work for sure. I wasn't expecting all that. There's 2,000 elementary, middle school, and high school kids, 2,000 kids there, and there's 47 D1 quarterbacks that we were all the counselors. We'd be out there with the kids from 9 to 11. Then we'd go out there from 2 to 4. Then we'd go out there from 6 to 8 with the kids. And then we would do our workouts with the Mannings from 8:30 to 10. And then we'd have social hour with the Mannings afterwards. So it was a pretty cool experience because being able to learn from them. I've never got to meet the Mannings, just how humble they were. I mean, they didn't have to be that way. They're football royalty. They've done everything you can in the football world. And just talking to them and how down to earth they were and humble they were. I mean, it was pretty cool getting to see that from them.
What was your biggest takeaway from them? Like what you learned?
Just sitting down with Peyton and him talking about football, what it takes to be a good quarterback, just with the film study, just being meticulous with every little detail, whether that's your footwork, your mechanics, where your eyes are, reading the defense, making checks on run plays, being good in pass protection, just everything that comes with being a great quarterback and learning from the best. I mean, it was an awesome experience.
It's been a great conversation today, and I just want to ask, what does the support of the 12th man mean to you, and why are you proud to be a Fighting Texas Aggie?
I mean, it means everything to us. I mean, that's what makes Texas A&M, the support we get as student athletes, and just to be able to go out there and give them a good product just because they put in so much effort and hard work and poured into us, I feel like we got to give something back to them, and we got to go put a good product out on that football field, and I feel like we're going to do that this year. So I'm ready. August 31st can't come soon enough, and we're all ready to go.
Connor Weigman on Answering the Call podcast. Connor, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Answering the Call, the official podcast of the 12th Man Foundation. A special shout out to our incredible podcast producer, Megan Hoffman, and to 12th Man Productions for their generous use of this studio. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to every donor and season ticket holder for always answering the call through loyal support of Texas A&M Athletics. We will be back soon with more content. Thanks, and gig 'em.